Toss a coin to your witcher, O Valley of Plenty. I don't know if that song's been overplayed or underplayed or what. All I know is that song is still stuck in my head, even though it's been more than a month.
Leo Warchioli metal cover of it in the car a minute ago. So.
That's true, in which that's a badass metal cover, I will be honest. Yep. So yeah, we are now on the final episode of Season 1 of The Witcher. And as it has been confirmed, Season 2 and Season 3 are now in production. They're going to be filming both of them, from what I understand, back-to-back to save money, and are going to be releasing them at a much closer interval than this season will be to the second season. Because the second season won't be here until 2021. Early 2021 is what they're saying. That sucks we got to wait that long, but at the same time, if it's the same quality as this, I will not be unhappy. Yeah, I mean, so far so good with The Witcher. This season's been, first 2 episodes, like we stated, first 2 episodes we were a bit iffy on. Ever since then, I've been nothing but entertained. And I can't wait to see what this episode's going to have in it. And another message. I've
heard a lot of things about this show. A lot of it from people who clearly didn't even give it a chance and watch it. But
yeah,
I heard some bad stuff about this episode, and I'm hoping it's bullshit. So,
well, I don't know. All I know is that people are, like, you and me, we've heard opinions about this show, and clearly they do not reflect how we feel about
There's a lot of opinions that just don't add up for this show. Like,
yeah.
And it really depends on who you talk to. It's not as, like, universally loved as I figured it would be, by any means at all.
No. But
there's a lot of people who are really fucking nitpicking things to find wrong with it. So.
Yeah, it's like they don't want it to be successful. Yeah. I don't know if it's the skepticism of adapting something like this into a live action show. For instance, the whole thing with Triss not being as, like, I don't know, she's white and she's redheaded and she's English. So
dumbest comment award that I saw was someone flipping their shit saying they couldn't forgive what they did to Triss. How dare they make her black?
She's not.
I was like, she's fucking played by an English Caucasian lady
with red hair.
What are you smoking?
With
because you should probably stop.
Yeah, because if that's what you like, honestly, dude, if you're going to take association like that, then what the hell are you doing? I understand that people can be upset over certain casting choices. I know people are, upset over the casting of Yen, but honestly, I don't mind. This Yennefer is really, really good. She does really, really good work.
She's convincing enough for me because I didn't look at her and immediately be like, yeah, that's a half Indian woman, like, at all. So,
here's the thing about,
who the fuck cares?
Here's the thing about Yennefer. I mean, Yennefer is a dusky black-haired beauty, in which, in this, she went from a twisted-spined, club-footed, slack-jawed, quarter elf person to probably one of the most intoxicatingly beautiful people in the entire show. And
if anything, like, being, like, someone who's a quarter elf in the lore, and then being someone who's, like, definitely, like, biracial in the
real world.
Like, real world actually kind of makes sense for that. Like, it kind of lends a more believable idea to the fact that they're not just a single race, when they're not meant to be.
No.
So.
Which I don't...
Of course, elves are, like, super pale usually and everything, but still, it's not enough to break my immersion.
Again, here's the thing. I don't care about race. Everyone who, like, makes race the most, like their reason for an argument, look, I can understand if it's something like Kingdom Come Deliverance, because that's historically accurate. I can understand Lord of the Rings to some extent because the setting of that is traditionally but this.
Well, even Lord of the Rings is still a fantasy setting.
It
so
is.
It doesn't really matter.
But still though, its inspiration is predominantly European fairy tale folklore, which
as is this. So
as is this. But the thing is, with this, you're taking something that has been adapted through multiple variants. Has been adapted through literature, or originated in literature, has been adapted into television shows multiple times before this one. Has also been a multitude of video games. And truth is, with this, I don't see as much a problem if the storytelling's good. Nick says, I don't care who you bang. It's like, I don't care what race you are or who you bang or anything like that. Just tell a good story. And anyone
do a
who
good job with your parts and stuff, acting and everything.
To which I've had nothing but...
It's like the only time I really got kind of pissed is just like the whole thing with like Death Note, because I'm like, dude, this story straight up tells you where it's set and when it changes settings to another country, and it's just like, it's straight up nonsensical. Like, it doesn't abide by the original material at all.
No, no, it doesn't.
So I don't know. Like, that's the only time it's ever really irked me. I don't know.
I don't know either, man. Honestly, I've enjoyed this series, and if you haven't, your loss. That's all I got to say. Anyway, we are now on the final episode of Season 1 of The Witcher. Let's get into it. Let's see what happens. Here we go. This is Season 1, Episode 8, Much More.
Also, people who say, quit comparing it to the games, he straight up confirmed in interviews now that he has tried to recreate parts of the games for the show, so...
Yeah.
Quit being a dumbass.
Doug Cockrell, actually, he said he took his inspiration of the voice from Doug Cockrell because...
The bathtub scene where he's in the tub, he said he wanted to have his feet up because he wanted it to be like the scene from the beginning of Witcher 3.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's actually going to leave and let this guy be eaten.
I knew he wouldn't leave him. Geralt's got too good of a heart for that.
He's typically supposed to be more neutral, and he wouldn't really step in unless someone paid him. Are you? I mean, like that's kind of the way I play him in the game. Is like if a dude was getting attacked by him, I'd probably try to help him.
Well, it's not like he's doing a good thing. He's just keeping another body from being added to the pile. Oh damn.
I kind of wonder when we get to see these in this show.
Well, here they are.
Damn.
Sword, Geralt, sword. Uh-oh.
A little bit.
The universal term of not good, as stated by Geralt. Fuck. All the symbols coming together, okay. Every symbol that has come to this.
Whoa.
Okay. That, I did not expect that. That's wicked.
Well, hell yeah. That's really cool.
I like that. I like the fact that they did that. They took every symbol that you'd seen at the beginning of every single episode and warped them into that. The white wolf and the swallow, yeah. Bows, arrows, and potions, oh my.
I have a feeling about what's going to happen. I don't know if it's right, but I have a feeling.
I don't know either. All I know is that just...
A lion.
My feeling is basically, despite the help of the mages, I don't think this is going to go well.
Well, I think we all know how far Nilfgaard has come. Nilfgaard has not really tasted defeat yet. And I don't think that's going to change for some time.
You saved her.
Oh, we did. I enlisted a Witcher. Geralt of Rivia.
Oh boy.
I often wonder where fate took him.
Somewhere unpleasant, I'm sure.
Oh. That's just cruel. Unusual.
Right.
And
Ineffective.
Very. 2 wasted mages. No hits.
Mages does she have?
Oh, baby. And that's some bomb-ass slings. That's nice. Oh, it's like thermite. Oh, fudge.
I think the texture on their armor looks really neat.
Yeah. It's like roots.
Now.
Oh. Neat. Uh-oh. Yeah, I figured as much. Oh, we can spawn infinite swords. Something tells me this isn't gonna end well. Oh. Nope. Your reserves have run dry, the reports.
Ouch.
Ow. Ouch. He's either out or he's dead.
Yeah.
Who? Hey, wake up! Hey, wake up! You stay awake, you bastard!
I like this guy.
You stay awake, you bastard! His mother left him.
Geralt, I've been waiting for you.
Vesemir, you're right.
Vesemir's awesome. We'll be excited if we get to see him
path
before
back
the
to
end of the
us. Do
show.
not stop.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh no! I thought they got her. I was like, oh shit.
Do not stop, Triss.
Oh no!
Bitch.
Oh no, that's what that is.
Okay.
Murdoch. Yes. Gangrene is setting in.
Wait.
I needed to neutralize the toxins.
No.
What?
The wound was troublesome, Geralt.
Oh, okay.
But you'll be alright.
I don't even think it's her. I think this
No,
is...
no, I mean, like, I just... He's seeing random women from his past, so...
Listening.
Well, this is going to be interesting. Pretty much just told Yen to let loose. You can only wonder what that's going to do. Eat your heart out, Daenerys Targaryen. We got a fire goddess on our hands. Jesus Christ. Scorched Earth, anybody? Holy shit.
The Nilfgaard's trying to go north. They've no reason to come here.
Yeah, about that.
I know.
Whoa, lads. Whoa, now.
Yaga!
Are you all right?
Oh,
Okay!
Is Ned Board safe?
damn it.
We're all okay.
Right there.
That sucks.
I need to tell you something.
Me too.
I met a girl, an orphan. I found her in the woods nearby. The girl in the woods will be with you always. She's your destiny.
That's it.
I met a witcher. He saved my life.
How much of this episode is left?
I don't know. I damn it.
Dude, I'm about to freak the fuck out on stupid ass people on the internet right now. The fucking shit that I read had to be made up unless it happens in the next 3 minutes. I'm about to flip shit on people.
Destiny. Is that...
The woods don't look the same in each shot. Okay.
So they finally came together. Holy shit.
Linked by destiny, we'll always find each other.
Who is Yennefer?
What? You gotta ask the question.
Second dumbest comment award of all f***ing time goes to the dude who made up some shit about like them trying to break the fourth wall and lecture you about he's not the protagonist. That conversation never f***ing happened. Watch the show before you critique it, you stupid dumb. That show was f***ing awesome.
I know.
People, dude.
I know, right?
Don't be a f***ing dumbass and watch before you f***ing make shit up about it, dude.
So
like, what
they
the
made a what?
They made up this whole thing trying to say that the last episode went super woke and like they looked like they were trying to literally break the fourth wall to lecture you about like he's not the protagonist and men are shit and stuff like that. Where the fuck was that? That didn't happen.
No.
What the fuck?
What the?
Stop smoking whatever you're smoking, you dumbasses.
What?
What the
Okay.
fuck?
Okay.
I'm so pissed right now that people are just straight up fucking lying about the show online.
I would love to hear what someone's logic was to come to that conclusion.
I don't even fucking know.
Look, this is not okay.
People are just straight up making up lies about this show to try to stop people from watching it, it sounds like.
Apparently so. Because look, I get it if this show is not your cup of tea. If you watch this show and you're dissatisfied, you know, whether it's the look of the characters or how they act or what they have left in or taken out or the fact that it's not in the flow of the video games just yet, okay. But if you're going to lie in order to try and quote make a point, what the fuck is wrong with you?
For real, dude.
What is wrong with you that you have to lie through your fucking teeth in order to try and prove a point? There is no point. There is no point to be made. If your argument does not have validity, doesn't have a base to stand on, then it's not an argument. It's conjecture. It's opinion. It has no merit.
Yeah,
that's stupid.
I thought I was going to be mad because the show was going to do some stupid shit in the last episode, and I'm more mad that the internet's doing some stupid shit about this show.
Yeah, whoever wrote that, dude, I mean, they need a internet jack slap.
For real.
Be like, what the, like honestly, hey, if anyone out there wants to clip this and then put it and then attach that onto that person's rant about how, the show went woke in the last 5 minutes, it really showed that, Geralt isn't really the main character. But who in their right mind would think that? Geralt is...
People were just trashing, like, they're like, Netflix's writers are so shit, this show's gonna fail so hard.
Okay.
And I'm just like, no, dude, the writing in that was actually really fucking good, from what I could tell.
I have my qualms about some of the writing in this show, in terms of its pacing, especially in the first 2 episodes. But that being said, though, there is so much here that works so well. The characters, the magic, the storylines, everything comes together.
Magical castle sieges are like the shit and should be in like everything now. Like,
yes,
basically.
that was awesome.
That was like the coolest fucking siege scene of all time.
Yes. I mean, it kept complete with portals, potential betrayals, potential, like so much going on Sabrina and her betrayal, her supposed betrayal of Yennefer, and then you see it was actually the earwigs that got in there and made her and those boys commit those terrible acts. And then right at the end,
the portal with the arrows was just a neat idea too.
Oh yeah,
I thought they were just gonna send the soldiers in.
And
these dudes are gonna surprise them, but they're gonna get slaughtered. But no, they just shot arrows through. It was just like, oh.
Well,
all right.
You know what I would do? I would say a good counter to that would be a portal. Like if they wanted to counter that, portal on the other side and throw one of those jars of thermite through.
Yeah.
And just be like, oh, you like shooting arrows? Have a thermite bottle. All of a sudden, that lands over on the other side, and you see an explosion in the woods, and you're just
I'm
like,
assuming those are technically like bombs, because that's another thing they didn't really touch on much here. Is one of the Witcher's like actually really prominent tools, at least in the games, is bombs.
Yeah,
and so you like actually use your alchemy not just to craft potions, but also oils for your blade, which different oils work against different kinds of creatures. And then also bombs, and like he has like alchemical bombs he'll throw, and there's different types of them.
Yeah,
and I think that's what that was. Is those were like a type of the bombs, basically.
Maybe so. I mean, if that's the type of bomb, like that kind of bomb right there, very effective, because the splash damage and plus the afterburn effect, effectively behaves like a thermite,
and then like
or white phosphorus.
Yeah, they're bombs in the first game. Yeah, I was about to say I don't think they had the bombs in the first game though. Now that I think about it, but they do actually. So I just hadn't unlocked the ability to make them yet, but I actually got a couple of them. But yeah, like I think that if nobody's gonna see me say this, so it's really pointless of me to say it, but.
Oh, I guarantee you people will say something. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, like, it's pointless for me to say it at this point, because you probably watched through our entire reaction of the series, and you know by this point that a lot of the shit you might be hearing online is just fucking made up, basically, about this show.
A lot of it at this point,
just
given what you
this show
said,
a fucking shot if you haven't been trying it, basically, is like what people need to know, because... clearly there's like some huge misinformation that I've seen online, because I was worried about the show, because people were just like, dude, it goes so downhill in the last 2 episodes. It gets super woke and super stupid.
Given what you've told me,
and I was just like, oh man, I hope it doesn't do that. Well, and it didn't do that at all. And it's just like, what the fuck are these people on about?
Given what you've told me, dude, I mean, this actually is like defies all expectations as to what people have said.
Yeah.
If anything, this just goes to show you, again, you can't 100% trust critics, even though you
definitely can't trust, like, these were like random ass stupid people online.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
the comment sections, and it's like literally dude being like, oh, they made Triss black. It's like, no, they fucking didn't. It's like, what?
She's a curly haired.
I feel like I remember reading articles before the show came out about how they thought they were going to like grossly miscast some characters and just straight up race change them and stuff. And I think people just read shit before it came out, then didn't see what they actually ended up doing with it, and just took that for like what the show was, basically.
You also have to take into account one thing as well. People are going to be skeptical of this show for 2 big reasons. Number one, it is a quote-unquote video game adaptation.
It's really not, though. It's a book adaptation.
But that's what people are all... But because there are people out there who have only played the Witcher games, that's all they're going to see it as. And there's never been a good video game adaptation.
That's why I was initially skeptical.
Yeah.
So until everybody was like, "Oh, it's based off the books," and I was like, "All right, well, we'll see then."
And then number 2,
book adaptations are still hard to do.
Yeah,
well,
they are.
But a show is a better format for that than a movie.
Yes, I agree, because there's just so much in there that you can't squeeze it all into one film. You can't. It's impossible. But overall, though, from everything I'm seeing here, I am immensely impressed with what they did. I am very, very impressed.
It was way fucking better than my very initial expectations thought it would be. So.
Yeah. Same thing with me. I see this and I'm just like, damn.
So you were more like...
I was more optimistic.
Optimistic about it than I was.
Well, it's because I've always liked Henry Cavill. I've never made that a secret. I like Henry Cavill. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I never really saw him in anything that I know of. I just knew he was Superman, and obviously, you know how I feel about Superman.
You are not a very big fan of Superman. No. I get that. But I've seen him in other things, and I'm very impressed with him. And this, I think this is his career-defining role. I know he played Superman, and Superman's like one of the biggest characters of all time.
Yeah, he's a bigger name than Geralt, but
I gotta say, Henry Cavill's performance as Geralt is his best work. This is by far his best work, and I'm glad that he's finally broken through and he's finally doing a role that not only is he passionate about, because number one, Henry Cavill's a gamer and he loves the Witcher video games, and number two,
I think he read the books too.
Oh yeah, and he read the books in preparation, but he said beforehand he had played the games through to completion multiple times because he loves the Witcher games, loves them, and for what everyone keeps saying about this show, about it, how it went terribly downhill in the last 2 episodes. Like, guys, no. If you I'd like to hear someone's opinions on how this went downhill completely after that. I mean, I
said, their reasons they gave and their opinions they gave were just made up. What they said wasn't in the show.
Yeah.
So,
well, and we also saw Ciri and Geralt finally come together at the end in this big moment, and as a surprise, Ciri asks the question, "Who's Yennefer?" To which Geralt just looked shocked by that, because
I'm not sure what's up with that question exactly.
Well, my guess is that's part of Ciri's thing. She's connected to Geralt through destiny, and whatever Geralt has in his heart, I believe, is something that she will see. And
I don't know if it's like she's assuming via that destiny connection, the law of surprise, that means she's supposed to marry Geralt or something at some point.
No. Law of surprise is
so
not.
I didn't know if it was like a jealous who's Yennefer type thing.
No.
Because she's a lot younger than him, clearly, and that would be weird. But
a lot younger. Yeah, Geralt's he's over 100 years old at this point. Him and Yen both. They're both over 100 years old. I think Yennefer, actually, she said she's...
I guess it was just a curious question because she heard him yell that in her dream or whatever.
And I think she's curious as to...
Telepathic connection or whatever it was.
Yeah. I think she's curious as to who Yennefer is because, for Geralt to be that obsessive over her, she's obviously very important. And, yeah, I mean, given how much Geralt cares for Yennefer, and now... I'm interested to see how Geralt and Ciri are going to interact with each other, because Ciri has had things pretty tough ever since Sintra fell. And Geralt was imprisoned in Sintra. And I guarantee you they're both going to talk very differently about the Queen and everything. It's for instance, I know Ciri's probably has a very high opinion of her grandmother. Very, very high opinion. Geralt does not. Geralt will have a very, very low opinion of the Queen, especially not only was he denied the law of surprise, but also she put Ciri's life in very, very high danger by denying Geralt the ability by the law of surprise, because that's the plague of destiny. You can't deny destiny in this show. But gosh, this was a great show, man. 8 episodes.
The only thing, now I'm thinking about it, though, is I'm a little bit disappointed with the fact that we had some things kind of happen really close to the end that didn't really give us any closure. It was kind of cliffhanger-y to an extent.
To some extent.
It looked like Foltest and the Temerian army just showed up, but then didn't actually have time to do anything before the episode was over.
Well, yeah.
And then, Yen kind of blew away a lot of Nilfgaardian soldiers there at the end, but we don't really know what the actual outcome of that whole thing was at this point. It didn't really say.
Maybe we won't find. Yeah, maybe we won't find out until season 1. Geralt and Ciri. Yeah, season 2. I think Geralt and Ciri are going to go to the battlefield and they're going to see the outcome, and maybe a big part of season 2 will be them searching for Yennefer.
That might have been a kind of a flash forward type thing too, to that where he was yelling for Yennefer and she was also yelling for her. Maybe that wasn't something that was happening at that moment, because he woke up from that,
Yeah. And
was still on the wagon.
I think also Tissaia and Tissaia going to meet up with Geralt as well, and we're going to have an interaction between Tissaia and Geralt. And also, I wonder what's going to happen with the other witch, Sabrina. I wonder what's going to happen with her. I wonder if she's going to be okay, or
don't know. She looked like she's in pretty bad shape.
Yeah, she fell pretty heavy off that.
It's also funny, again, that her name's Sabrina and she's a witch. So.
But she's not teenage, so
it's still funny.
Yeah, well. All right. Well, I'm very happy with this series. I liked it a lot.
Want more.
I do too. I want more.
I want it to catch up to where the first game started, so I can see like everything that happens between like now and then. So.
Well, given the fact that
I'm definitely gonna be playing the shit out of the games between now and the next time that we get to watch this for season 2. So.
I can about guarantee you, given how successful this has been, and the fact that it sounds like they're going straight into production of season 2 and 3 all at the same time, and and I think they'll be at a closer release schedule than normal. I hope we get at least 10 episode seasons next time.
I just don't.
If we get 8,
I hope Netflix doesn't make like a mistake of like rushing it because of the success it's had and just wanting to get more out to make more money from people.
But
like,
given the fact
or to
that
keep
they're
people's
waiting,
subscriptions going, basically.
Given the fact that they're waiting
till
2021, I can forgive that. Now, I hope, because here's the thing, the long wait. I remember when season 7 of Game of Thrones ended and 2 years went by, and the 2-year wait was not worth it. But given the fact that they've had this success here, don't get me wrong, they haven't had near Game of Thrones success. Game of Thrones success is God tier by comparison. But with this, I guarantee you they're going to throw more money at it, and I guarantee you they're going to have better special effects, and they're going to be able to do the scenes that they want to do for it.
Also, people in the comments like asked, like on one of our previews, like, why do you keep comparing this to Game of Thrones? And it's like, because it's literally like one of the like most ambitious fantasy shows besides Game of Thrones.
Name me a fantasy show that takes this many risks and is this popular.
And
I know other people are going to say like
R-rated,
and shit like that.
Doesn't care about showing violence and like R-rated content and stuff,
Yeah.
And like is trying to build like a major set of lore and everything and tell a huge story.
Outlander is one, however,
there's really no modern shows like that besides Game of Thrones, so that's why it's comparable.
Yeah.
Like Game of Thrones, yes, went to shit in the last 2 seasons. Hopefully this one doesn't. This has the potential to take its place as like basically the best fantasy show like of the era, pretty much. So.
I gotta say, I enjoyed this season about as much as I enjoyed the first season of Game of Thrones. I mean, the first season of Game of Thrones is a barn burner. This is, on equivocal terms, is a barn burner.
Because Game of Thrones was kind of the same way for me. It took me like 2 episodes before I was fully in. Because I kept watching the first episode. I watched it 3 different times before I was finally,
and you never gave it a chance,
going.
and then all of a sudden...
Well, the first time I tried to watch it, I was like hanging out with some of my friends that were just like talking the whole time. So I had trouble paying attention to it. And the second time, I think I watched it with Andrew and Rachel. But it was just like, I watched it and just was like, not really fully grasping what was going on still. And then the third time, I was like, all right, I'm going to watch it with you. I'm going to ask a bunch of fucking questions. So if it's not like something that is like answered shortly, or if it's like a decent question, like let me ask it and get you to answer it for me. And so like he like walked me through. It's like, all right, they're here now. This is where they're at right now. And I was like, this show could have really benefited from some little text cards that's like Winterfell. Like, just saying where they're at any given time.
Well, they did in the
you have to pay
beginning of
really
episode 1.
fucking close attention to like.
In episode 1, they did show like
grasping
Winterfell.
where they're at and stuff.
Well, they did have a Winterfell title card pop up on the first episode. I remember that.
I didn't remember for sure, but
yeah,
I know like they didn't have that for much of anywhere else. So
well,
I was always like, where's this at? Where's this at? Like, and where's this in reference to this? And I was actually like looking at a map and stuff, and I was like, okay, so that's here in reference to here.
Okay, that's in the north.
I was trying to build the world
center,
for myself in my head based off of the clues given while asking some questions to help me out with it,
Yeah.
Because like I couldn't remember just the map screen from like the opening, and it doesn't really. It goes around and swoops around so fast that you can't really tell where stuff is relative to other stuff as well. Like as you can just like looking at the map on a paper or whatever or on a screen. But yeah, like it took me a while to get into it, but I got into it finally. But yeah, hopefully this doesn't do like a really good like first 6 seasons and then shit all over itself in the last one.
Well, I hope not. But given the quality we've gotten with this first season, I forget the name of the woman who's the showrunner on this. But if she gets tired of it, I mean, I guarantee you she can pass it off to someone else who's still got the passion for it. Because I think
if they'll let her.
Well, no. The thing is, Benioff and Weiss. HBO pretty much pressured them, which, given the success that the show had, I can see exactly the logic behind that. But at the same time, it's just like, if they're not passionate about it anymore, then don't force their hands.
Like, I don't know if they were saying they wanted to only do 6 seasons. I don't know if they wanted to just end it where the books ended and leave it open-ended so maybe they could come back when you finish the books or
which would be a long time because he still hasn't finished book 7.
But, like, you know, I mean, maybe that's what they wanted to do. But,
well,
like, I was just like, the fact that they wanted to make it even shorter just kind of tells me that they were burnt out and didn't give a fuck about it.
Well, yeah, they were burnt out, and after 6 seasons, I would have passed it off to Sapochnik and Nutter because those two guys did tremendous jobs directing, like, some of the best episodes. If anything, I would have had them take over as showrunners and just do it like that. But for some reason, HBO was just like, nope, we want Weiss and Benioff. It's like, guys, they don't want to do it anymore. Doesn't matter, we want them. And look what happened. A train wreck of the last 2 seasons. Jesus. 13 episodes. Yeah, 13 reasons why. 13 reasons why Game of Thrones sucks. Season 7 and Season 8. But I'll give you every reason why The Witcher is awesome. Everything in the damn show. Quite literally. Henry Cavill, Anya Shartola, pretty much everybody in this show does their part very well. The special effects are really good. The characters are really good. The stories are really good. Only problem I had was the pacing, but that was in like the first 2 episodes. But then again, you know, by the end of this, I was nothing but ecstatic with how far the show had come. Thank you all very much for tuning into this, and thank you Netflix for putting out this awesome show. This is honestly one of my favorite fantasy shows of all time as of right now. So yeah. For now, everybody, I guess that's going to do it. So I guess until next time.
You want to tell people what we're watching after this?
Oh, that's right. For everyone who is curious as to what we will be watching next,
technically we're already watching it, but it's what you'll be seeing.
Yeah, it is what you'll be seeing next. Yeah. We've actually recorded a fair amount ahead of this so we can have a good backlog. We are going to be watching Dr. Stone, the anime dub version, not the sub, the dub version. Reason for that is because, you know, myself, Nick, and Jacob, we just decided to take it upon ourselves to do the dub, and plus a lot of people said the dub was actually really good. And so far, I'm not disappointed. I'm liking the dub a lot.
I like it.
Yeah. So, I guess until then, everybody.
Don't judge me on the first episode because I wasn't at all sold on the first episode, but
yeah.
By this point, I'm pretty into it. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess until next time, everybody, signing off. I'm Nate.
I'm Nick.
And we will see you all in the next one, everybody.
Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty.